Hey everyone, it's Coeval. Hope you're having a nice Saturday. Or if you're watching this later, hope you're having a great day or night or evening. We've got another game between myself and Harpocrates. This is also Nirvana. He's got an alt account that he's running on because, I don't know, maybe his rating on his main is too high. Who knows? So he's like, I can only face you on my alt. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. Kind of feel a bit bad about that. You know, he's just facing me on his alt because I'm not good enough for his main or whatever, you know. But that's just how he is. So we got a 20 Graves going here. And looks like he's running full C's at first glance. But we'll see. It could also be mixed and maybe he just has the 2 level 3s. Kind of counterintuitive to run full C's on Graves. But yeah, you'll see how the strategy ends up working out for him pretty well. So I think I've got just like a pretty generic book. I'll have the books there at the beginning so you guys can see. But yeah, he flashes me off, and I just teleport in. Use a pretty safe teleport. Okay, so this game I decided to take Sanctuary because I think at this point, like, we were playing and he kept just demolishing me with generic, and he goes for the drain there. Oh my god, I have to replay this. Look at that. Can I zoom that in and yeah, look at where this goes. Straight through. He was like tweaking out in the chat, like how is that even possible? He went directly through just the tiniest of margins to miss that drain. Anyway, super hilarious when it happened in game. I was like, man, that that is brutal. So I guess I have like a generic Sanctuary, maybe Mega Boulder and Dark Knight book. Just Sank, Mega Boulder, DK. He tries to knock that man trap off and it doesn't quite work. So I get another turn to trap him. And just trying to control, keep map control. Yeah, it's possible maybe he could have detowered and escaped. Maybe he would have had to use a VFTP, maybe not. So that tree is probably less than optimal. But because I really only have Sanctuary and Mud, another option might have been to just detower and Mud him, but I don't think there's a huge difference between those moves at this point in the game, because we're both playing super passive. So you're going to see he Maelstroms, which is kind of questionable if you haven't seen this strategy before. You know, normally if you Maelstrom, you're going to go for your opponent, right? But actually what he's trying to do is make space for the Lord, because, like I said, it's counterintuitive, because if you look around Graves, there's no water. So what the hell's the point of the Water Lord? It's just a Lord at that point. It's not even a Water Lord. So he's going to decide to make some space with Maelstrom so that he can drop the Lord in the water, and then begins a decade-long journey, it seems, to whittle down his 5,000 health Water Lord. And I want to stay undercover because I'm pretty sure he has Deluge, right? And it's at this point too that I realized he doesn't have full C's because I knew that he was using Flight, Protection Shield, his Tower, Drain, and so I thought, yeah, he's got a mix. But the strategy, as you can see here, which is pretty simple, is just to use the Lord and just dive and hide, pretty much. Hide until you can get a good opportunity to use Fury, destroy a lot of the map, let the Arma kill the opponent, and maybe the occasional Deluge when the top terrain is all gone and you can't hide anymore. The opponent can't hide anymore. So at this point, I mean, like I told you guys before, I've got Mud, Mega Boulder, DK, and Sanctuary. So I do have a slight, I wouldn't say advantage, but maybe a slight edge in strategy here is that whenever he reveals himself with the Lord, I can go next to him in Sanctuary and extinguish all his shields. So that's a huge plus. So I have that in my back pocket, and I'll try to keep my Swarm alive so that I can take the Lord if he ever moves. But I'll want to be a little bit aggressive here, especially with the shield up. and the Pegasus to block the Deluge. I'll Pebble down, destroy some of the land. If I can get a pathway for the Swarm so that I can take the Lord down, that'd be awesome. Or just make a pathway to him so I can Sanctuary, right? So the game kind of goes on, and I want to keep the Pegasus above me. I don't want to stand over that English summer there. And I decided to just hide down here. Again, it's 20 seconds, so I didn't have all the time in the world to move that Spirit. But again, Spirit's kind of a dead slot in my book. I just used it when I didn't have anything else. Yeah, it has some utility with, Windshield, but otherwise, it's not hugely useful, especially in 20s. Now, if I had like Storm Shield, then it would start to see some great use. Kind of sideline plan to undead that Pegasus, but I think it does go down here. Oh yeah. Oh, and the Swarm gets hit, but luckily it doesn't die. And so he's just bouncing around. You'll see that he flies up a little bit. That's just a mechanic of the Lord. Your player will fly up a little bit. Not sure whether that should be a thing, if your player should stay on the Lord or not. But what's really tricky about when he flights is that if you're flighted on a Lord, let's say you kill the Lord, the player stays like flighted unless you do extra damage. And unless you do extra damage to the Lord, like for example if the Lord was 50 health and you did 60, then you would deflight the player. But if they've got prots up and they're flighted, they're going to stay afloat. They're going to stay flying in the air, and so you're not going to get that sink. And it makes it just that much harder to be able to get momentum back. And so, yeah, the odds are a bit against me here, but I'm going to still push and just keep the pebbles up. Obviously that Swarm is pretty useful still. He chooses to Ray me there. I do have 100 prot, so maybe it would have been a little better for him to go and kill the Swarm. But then again, I mean, he still just wants to hide, right? There's no interest in coming out and being aggressive. But yeah, it's kind of a moot point because he just raised and I just prop back up. It's kind of like if you have a Swarm out and then the Swarm is able to survive for a few turns, and then you finally kill it and you're like, yay, I got the Swarm down. But then your opponent just pulls out another and says, well, I can just whip that out easily, gain my momentum, not a big deal at all. And it's pretty deflating to see that. It's like, oh, finally I got that minion down, and then they just pull out another one immediately. So here again, the strategy is just Pebble, keep the Pegasus up, keep the Swarm alive. If he kills my Swarm, bring another one out. What's his win con? Like I said, end game, super late game, Fury late game, the map is all gone. He's got a Lord to float on. I don't have a Lord to float on. He sinks me. There's nowhere to teleport, and he just kills me off spawn, off teleport every turn. And I die, and he wins. Now, what's my win con? Well, try to apply as much pressure as possible before the map completely deteriorates, which I think I'm in a decently okay spot here with the Lord at half health. Decently okay is good enough. I've got a meat shield here with the Pegasus, so he can't really deluge me. He can't do that much damage. Water ball on a flighted opponent doesn't really do that much. So he's not able to really press as far as damage goes. There, I'm just going to block the aerial again. Choose to Skyray. So I do have Skyray. So Skyray, Sanctuary, Mega Boulder, DK. I guess I can fit Skyray because I don't have anything like Ice Shield, because it is a 20 seconds game, so I don't think Ice Shield is hugely useful, unless in super specific cases. Like, for example, it could block Deluge very effectively. So he chooses to Fury here. 53, 43, 33 on my prop. I get a bit lucky at the end. It doesn't really hit me that much. and actually does quite a bit of damage to his lord. And so, yeah, I'm not sure that was the best move, because now his lord is down to 61. Granted, I don't have a lot of like areas that I can be safe, so he actually gets hit by the skull there, and I'll just replay that because I didn't have the right camera angle. Oops. But yeah, I was a little bit down. But I had the mech arrow as well, so just generic sanctuary DK with mech arrow ray. So I guess maybe I didn't have mud and mega in this. I don't think I use it. But he actually gets hit with the skull. Oh, I guess I didn't quite replay to the right turn. But yeah, he got bonked in the head, and I'm able to BFTP and flash him off. And now at this point, yeah, his lord is whittled down. And so I think the Fury didn't quite work out for him, and he just got super unlucky. I mean, there's a chance if that skull doesn't hit that he could maybe sink me. You know, maybe there was a bit of land here. Maybe I fly down to that land and then mech arrow from there. If he can't really sink me from that point, then I'm pretty sure I got the win in the bag. He puts up the draw, obviously, because that's pretty tilting to lose to a skull at the end of the game. But I guess that's the nature of the game sometimes. And he's got nowhere else to teleport, so he just teleports in and just sends in the resignation. So pretty interesting game. It was actually Noret, if you guys have faced or seen him in game, Noret who founded this sort of unique Seas mix with Waterlord and Fury. Sometimes he just brings Lord, sometimes he brings Fury, sometimes he brings like Lord and, I don't know, Supernova, or Lord and some other, you know, ritual, some crazy kind of combination of level 3s. But really unique sort of strategy that Nirvana chose to adopt here. He did steal it from Noret, but you know, most of you guys won't know that because you won't watch to the very end of the video. He might though, he likes to leave long comments. So anyway, thanks for the game, Harp. And this is one of a few wins that I seem to get against you in the time that I've been back and trying to get rid of some of my rust. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this commentary, leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like these type of videos, or if you have any ideas on other types of videos that you might like to see. And that's about it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.